Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where it's time for another look at the latest kill team updates. So this is Errata 1.2 / March 2025. I'm not entirely sure what we should call it, so we're going with those. This time we're going to take a look at all things Chaos before the Goremongers are added to the list. So we have 8 teams to look at today. We're going to go from power armor down to more specialist humans into the downright weird. So we'll do Legionaries into Nemesis Claw, then Plague Marines, Warpcoven, Blooded, Chaos Cult, Fellgor Ravagers, and then finishing up with the Gellerpox Infected. For those who want to skip about and just jump to the specific team that they're interested in, everything is chaptered up for you. And there is a link to all of these documents. They're all online PDFs available for free on Games Workshop's website. So follow that link and pick your team and you can read through these yourself. But how about we just jump straight in with this one? And we're going to start with the Legionaries, the team that I played yesterday at time of recording, and it was bloody brutal. I took my Kazakin into Legionaries. No wonder there's a lot of updates. They were brutal. It was a 3-way kill team game, so it wasn't all Legionaries, but Elites, they're pretty good at the minute. But let's see what's going on. So this is the first errata for them, and there is a number of changes. So strategy ploys, Implacable, second paragraph change to read: whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Legionary Nurgle model, weapons with the Piercing 1 rule now have the Piercing Crits 1 rule instead. That's nice. So Implacable in full. You can ignore any changes to the stats of friendly Legionary operatives from being injured, and then the Nurgle bit kicks in. Okay. I like how they work with keywords and all that sort of stuff. This is definitely an undivided kill team, and I love that about them. These are probably my favourite Chaos kill team, if I'm honest. Next strategy ploy that's been updated, Quicksilver Speed. First 2 paragraphs change to read: whenever a friendly Legionary operative that performed an action in which it moved during this turning point is fighting, they've got rid of or retaliating, worsen the hit stat of the enemy operative's melee weapons by 1. That's nice. And whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Legionary Slaanesh operative more than 6 inches from it that performed an action in which it moved during this turning point, worsen the hit stat of the enemy operative's weapons by 1. Very nice. So let's see what Quicksilver Speed is in full. We've just gone through it. That's the whole thing. So if they performed an action in which it moved, you worsen the hit of all enemy operatives' melee weapons by 1, and if they're Slaanesh in more than 6 inches away, then you worsen the enemy operatives' weapons, like shooting weapons, by 1. Yeah, nice. Again, just playing with the different gods and picking different marks to do different things. I like it. It sounds strong. Strategy ploys, Fickle Fates. Relevant part of the first paragraph changed to read that friendly operatives' ranged weapons have the Ceaseless weapon rule. So Fickle Fates in full: whenever a friendly Legionary operative is shooting a ready enemy operative, that friendly operative's ranged weapons have the Ceaseless weapon rule. If the weapon already has that weapon rule, e.g. the Reaper Chain Cannon, it has the Relentless weapon rule. And whenever an operative is shooting a ready Legionary Tzeentch operative, in the roll defense dice step, if you retain any critical successes, you can retain one of your fails as a normal success instead of discarding it. Generally just very strong there for being Tzeentch. And Firefight ploys, Mutability and Change, additional text added after the last sentence. If it's a warrior operative, that operative's mark of Chaos keyword cannot be changed during this turning point. See Infernal Pact for additional rule. It's just the warrior, isn't it? Okay, so if it's a bog standard troop, Mutability and Change, use this Firefight ploy when a friendly Legionary Tzeentch operative is activated until the end of that operative's activation. Add 1 to its APL stat. That's ridiculous. If it's a warrior operative, the operative's marks of Chaos keyword cannot be changed during this turning point. See the Infernal Pact additional rule, which I think is their warrior skill. Once per battle, when a friendly Legionary Warriors operative is activated, you can use this rule. If you do, change the operative's mark of Chaos. Okay, so it just means you can't Infernal Pact. But that's nice. Add 1 to its APL stat on 3 AP. Oh. Oh no, just no. The chosen operative Soul Gorge has been changed to read: after this operative fights or retaliates, if it isn't incapacitated, but it incapacitated an enemy operative during that sequence, it regains up to D3 plus 1 lost wounds. It has nothing to do with inflicting critical damage, it is purely if you incapacitate an enemy, you heal, but it's a plus 1. So D3 plus 1, you're always going to get 2 back at least. The Anointed Operative Unleashed Demon, additional text added at the end of the second bullet point. If this operative has the Nurgle keyword, you cannot reduce the damage of an attack dice by more than 1. In other words, you cannot use both rules to reduce normal damage of 4 or more by 2. So I'm not going to go through that because that change is just linking in with a Nurgle keyword. Also, I think Kill Team operates on just a blanket. You cannot worsen something by more than 1 or reduce something by more than 1 anyway. So that's probably just specifying it, but that I believe that was always the case, so that shouldn't really be coming into play. But let me know if I'm wrong. Balefire Acolyte Operative Siphon Life weapon rule has been changed to read: when you select this weapon, you can use this rule. If you do, at the start of the resolve attack dice step, select one friendly legionary operative visible to and within 6 inches of this operative. For each attack dice you resolve during that step that inflicts damage, that enemy operative regains 1 lost wound or D3 lost wounds if it was a critical success. You cannot use this weapon rule more than once per turning point. So that was used against me quite a bit yesterday, and it's very nice. Just an easy heal. You don't even need to kill an operative, you just do damage, you can heal a little bit back. Really, really nice. Icon Bearer Operative Favoured of the Dark Gods has been changed to read: in the ready step of the strategy phase, if this operative controls an objective marker that isn't tainted, that objective marker is tainted for the battle and you gain 1 CP. Note that if any operative, including enemy operatives, has tainted an objective marker, you cannot taint that objective marker. So you can't go around uncleansing a cleansed objective, basically. That makes sense? But I like that you gain an extra CP. Do an action, gain a CP. Yeah, nice. And the Warrior Operative Infernal Pact has been changed to read: we've already gone through this, but we'll do it again because it's here. Once per battle, when a friendly Legionary Warrior Operative is activated, you can use this rule. If you do, change that operative's Marks of Chaos keyword, which gives the Warriors quite a nice bit of utility if you want to take some Warriors. They are a 6-man team, and how many specialists? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 7 specialists and then an option of 2 leaders. So what is their actual makeup of this team? Okay, so you get 1 gunner and you get 1 heavy gunner. This team is just a wealth of not only kit bash potential and modelling, but also just options. There's so much that you can do. You can even have 2 very different leaders. I love it. I might have to pick these up. Talk me out of it. Don't talk me out of it. I really want this team. I really like this team. I might have to pick this team up. There's so many kill teams that I love. But that's the changes for Legionaries. Let me know in the comments what you think. Quite a lot of changes, but I think that they were waiting to see how they sort of settled in. Legionaries have been on top for quite a while, and the general Astartes rule is very tough. Shoot twice or fight twice. Obviously the second one has restrictions, but that in itself is very strong. And then the fact that they're so tough, and then you've got all the extra bits going on. Really, really strong team. I think the changes actually all make sense. They seem quite fair. Don't have any concerns with any of it. Hopefully it hasn't made the team so much worse that they're unusable. It doesn't sound like they have, but we'll see what those changes actually do to Legionnaires' win rates. Now we'll jump on to the next one. We're going to take a look at the Nemesis Claw and see what everybody's favourite Bat Knights, Batmen, I can't really call them Batmen, can I? See what everybody's favourite Batmen do. We got 2 changes for this update. We've got Firefight Ploy's Death to the False Emperor. The first sentence has been changed to read: use this Firefight Ploy after rolling your attack dice for a friendly Nemesis Claw operative. If it's shooting against, fighting against, or retaliating against an enemy operative that has the Imperium keyword, and there will be extra, so let's have a look at that. The Death to the False Emperor, Imperium keyword. That friendly operative's weapons have the ceaseless weapon rule until the end of that sequence. If that enemy operative also has the Adeptus Astartes keyword, that friendly operatives' weapons have the relentless weapon rule until the end of that sequence instead. That's something in the Legionaries team as well. Very interesting that they're giving you this stuff. Makes sense because they are out to murder anybody to do with the Emperor. Yeah, okay, I like it. It makes sense. It's very themey. It sounds quite strong. And the Fearmonger operative Terrachem Poison has been changed to read: whenever an operative that has one of your Terrachem tokens is activated, inflict D3 wounds or D3 damage on it. So the Fearmonger, Terrachem, that's the full thing. He has a lot of stuff. Poison objective, and these are cool models as well. Really, really nice models. Very cool upgrade sprue added. There was nothing else, was there? No. They haven't had too many changes. That sounds... yeah, I wonder what they've changed there then, because both of these are more clarifications than anything else. Not balance updates, but that's fine. Yeah. Sounds fairly straightforward for the Night Lords. Let's jump over to the Plague Marines now. I think there was a couple of changes to these last time, but as the Adeptus or the Angels of Death team keep getting no changes. No, they are changing these quite a bit actually. So some more changes. We have faction rules poison. Relevant part of the first sentence of weapon rule changed to read: the operative this weapon is being used against, excluding friendly Plague Marine operatives, gains one of your poison tokens. So they're just specifying that you can't poison your own team. They're all spreading Nurgle's goodness. Oh, I feel gross saying that. I'm not going to read the rest of that because actually no, let's do it because I don't actually know what poison does. So poison, some weapons in the team's rules have the poison weapon rule. And poison is in the resolve attack die step: if you inflict damage with any successes, the operative of this weapon is being used against, excluding friendly Plague Marine operatives, gains one of your poison tokens. If it doesn't already have one, whenever an operative that has one of your poison tokens is activated, inflict 1 damage on it. Just a nice little stacking damage buff there. Firefight Ploy's Poisonous Demise. Additional text added at the end of the first sentence: use this Firefight Ploy when a friendly Plague Marine operative is incapacitated. Before it's removed from the kill zone, it's going to blow up in a poisonous cloud, isn't it? Again, this is just a confirmation change. Poisonous Demise: when a friendly plague operative is incapacitated, before it's removed from the kill zone, each enemy operative visible to and within 3 inches of that operative gains one of your poison tokens if they don't already have one. Very nice. For each of those enemy operatives that already has one of your poison tokens, including if they gained one this action, inflict 1 damage on them instead. Very nice, just constant damage stacking. Champion operative Grandfather's Blessing rule has been changed to read: whenever an enemy operative that has one of your poison tokens loses 1 or more wounds within 7 inches of this operative regains up to an equal number of lost wounds, to a maximum of 3 lost wounds per turning point, and only if this operative isn't incapacitated. Again, just a clarification, but that's very nice. So while things are dying or slowly being destroyed by the Nurgle's rot burning through their bodies, Champion's just over here laughing, enjoying every moment of it and getting healed by the residual effects. Again, just clarifications, not actual balance changes. The team still plays pretty much how they came out the box. I didn't realise they had a token mechanic, because yes, there is tokens in the starter set, but this is one of the only kill teams that doesn't have its own personal tokens. That'd have been so much cooler to have in the starter set. But hey, there's plenty of tokens that you can make your own, or you could even just design your own poison tokens if you wanted. But that's cool. I like Plague Marines. There's something about chaos that is just pulling me in at the minute. Now we're going to jump over to Warpcoven, and this is a team that I very much don't like. So we're going to take a look at Thousand Sun Sorcerers and all the other beautiful things that they can do. Hopefully there's not too many changes. There is just one, and it is just a confirmation. Okay, because they got hit with quite a few last time, didn't they? Yeah, they did. So I guess that they're still waiting to see how those changes affect win rates for Warpcoven. But the only change this time around, strategy ploys: fate itself is my weapon. Relative part of the second sentence changed to read: that replacement dice cannot be re-rolled or retained as a success or critical success if it's not, and is discarded at the end of that phase. So what is that actually? And that's not a balance, that's just a clarification. But what's the thing in ball. Oh, big one. Fate is my weapon. Roll 2d6 and reserve them, put them to one side. In the following firefight phase, whenever an operative is shooting, fighting, or retaliating after you or your opponent roll their attack dice, but before rerolls, you can use one of your reserve dice to replace one of the d6 rolled for that sequence, yours or your opponent's. That replacement dice cannot be re-rolled or retained as a success or critical success if it's not, and is discarded at the end of that sequence. Then, if the combined result of both reserved dice was less than 9, discard the other dice. You must not use more than one reserve dice per sequence. Discard any remaining reserve dice at the end of the turning point. So it's dice roll manipulation, guaranteeing failures or successes for both you and your opponent. So you get 2 dice, and you can use one of them to replace whichever in an attack sequence. This rule seems unnecessarily convoluted. It's very strong, but basically roll 2 dice and you reserve them. A little bit like miracle dice. You can use one of them to switch out either yours or your opponent's dice rolls after attack dice have been done but before rerolls. Whatever you change that dice to, if you do, you cannot change that result either way with a reroll or whatever. So it's a guaranteed success or failure, or if it's a 6, critical success. But then if the combined result of both dice rolls, having done that once, is less than 9, you get rid of the other dice. You cannot use more than one reserve dice per sequence, but you only get 2. So if it's above 9, I'm going to assume that you keep the other one and you can use that in another sequence during the turning point. And if you haven't used it, you get rid of it and you can do that again and roll 2d6. Does it really need that last paragraph? It feels like that rule is overly complicated for what it does, especially as a once, maybe twice per turning point use thing. But then, knowing Thousand Sons, there's probably extra ways of them doing horrible things to every kill team they come up against. Yeah, not sure about that one. It is just a clarification, and all they're clarifying is that it can't be re-rolled or changed into a success if you've got a rule that can change successes and critical successes and things. But still, that ploy just feels a little bit wordy and a little bit too in-depth. It's nice though, it's quite strong. Dice manipulation is usually very good. But that's us done for the Warpcoven. How about we jump over to the Blooded and see what the first of our human cults has in store. So the Blooded, we do have a change. We have 3 changes. So the first one, Firefight Ploy, Dark Favor. Additional text added at the end of the first paragraph. If it's the shoot action, then that other operative is only in cover or obscured if the original target was. So what is Dark Favor? Did we look at this last time? I feel like we looked at this last time. So Dark Favor. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly blooded operative that has one of your blooded tokens is selected as a valid target of a shoot action or a fight against during the fight action. Select one other blooded operative visible to and within 3 inches of that first friendly operative to become the valid target or to be fought against as appropriate instead, even if it wouldn't normally be valid for this. If it's the fight action, treat that other operative as being within the fighting operative's control range for the duration of that action. If it's a shoot action, that other operative is only in cover or obscured if the original target was. This ploy has no effect if it's the shoot action and the ranged weapon has a blast or torrent weapon rule. Okay, so it's like a convoluted bodyguard thing, I think. Yeah, I mean, they're not changing how it works, they're just confirming that whatever state the target is in, the new target also has those rules. Yeah, okay. I'm probably missing something. Yeah, I mean, none of this is balance, all of this is confirmation. So strategy ploys, bitter demise, add the relevant part change to read: whenever a friendly blooded operative is incapacitated before it's removed from the kill zone, roll. It's going to be an explodey thing, isn't it? Whenever a friendly blooded operative is incapacitated before it's removed from the kill zone, roll 1d3 on a 3 or 2+. If that friendly operative has one of your blooded tokens, inflict damage equal to the result on one enemy operative that is visible to and within 2 inches of that friendly operative. Yeah, it's just a 2-inch explosion. They're again just having to add these little bits. Surely if you have an activate on death ability or a ploy or something, it's quite obvious that you would do it when an operative is incapacitated, but before you remove it from the kill zone. That's just common sense, but I suppose writing rules is almost like writing a legal document because there's so many ways of getting around this stuff. Final one for this kill team, Brimstone Grenadier Operative, Explosive Demise rule. First sentence change to read, if the operative is incapacitated before it's removed from the kill zone, you can use this rule. Again, I'm not going to go through that. Fairly obvious that that would be how it takes place. So 3 very quick changes for the Blooded there. Nothing really big that we've seen so far, in all honesty. Let's jump over to the Chaos Cult. They normally have some fun and games for us. So the Chaos Cult and all their just mutating shenanigans. We had some big changes last time around. We have a couple of clarifications now. So the first one, faction rules, accursed gifts, deformed wing. Relevant part of the first sentence changed to read, whenever this operative is climbing up, you can treat the vertical distance as ... We're seeing a lot of these changes, certainly quite a few with grappling hooks, grav launchers, that sort of stuff. It's just bringing climbing rules all in line with each other, so I'm not going to go any further with that, but that is just a clarification they've made. Firefight ploys, faithful follower, additional text added to the end of the first paragraph. If it's a shoot action, the operative is only in cover or obscured if the original target was. I'm assuming that's exactly the same as what we've just seen from the Blooded, so I'm not going to go any further into that because again, that makes sense. That's one that I'm glad that they're clarifying, but it sort of does make sense. I'm expecting the Wormblade kill team to have a similar change to that as well with the Genestealer cults when we get there. And final one for Firefight Ploy, Frenzied Demise. We've seen this change before, we'll run through it, but I'm not going to read through the full rule because we kind of understand what's happening here. But additional text added to the end of the first sentence. Use this Firefight Ploy when a friendly Chaos Cult Mutant or Chaos Cult Torment operative is incapacitated. Before it's removed from the kill zone, do whatever Frenzied Demise demands you to do. Again, quite straightforward, fairly obvious. Hopefully that's how it's being played anyway. But that's some more very quick clarifications for Chaos Cults. What have the Fellgor Ravagers got for us? One of the few games where Beastmen are still legal. Poor Sigmar. We have a rules commentary and no we don't. So there is an update, but the update is to the same operative that had the update last time, and it's a balance update just confirming. I think I mentioned this when we went through it last time, but the Shaman operative, Mantle of Darkness action, relevant part of the second sentence of the effect, changed to read, whenever a friendly Fellgor Ravager operative is visible to and within 3 inches of this operative. So for this one, I'll run through it, Mantle of Darkness, because it is a proper change. So it's a psychic action, and until the start of this operative's next activation, or until its incapacitation, whichever comes first, whenever a friendly Fellgor Ravager operative is visible to and within 3 inches of this operative, has a conceal order, and is in cover, that friendly operative cannot be selected as a valid target, taking precedence over all of the rules, e.g. seek, vantage terrain, except being within 2 inches. And it cannot be performed while within control range of an enemy operative. I'm pretty sure that's what they always meant and they just kept missing it off the last couple of updates. All of these types of abilities where you're manipulating cover or doing something, pretty much all of them. Actually, there's a Kazakin one, the Kazakin APL share from the comms. Apparently you don't need to be visible or within 3 inches, which makes that a really strong rule. But just about every other rule that does some sort of cover manipulation or APL sharing or some sort of buff, it's usually within 3 inches and is always operative is visible to my knowledge. So yes, it's a balance change. Arguably it's a clarification of how it should work as well. But it's maybe not quite as strong now, but that's probably how most people were playing it. And we'll see next time round what changes are made to the Shaman operative, because he seems to be the favourite one to just tweak and change. Jumping over to the Gellerpox Infected now, our last kill team of this video. They had some very big changes to just about every aspect of their team. Last time round, you can see there are loads of changes. Have we had anything? 2 small changes. Both of them clarifications. So Firefight Ploy, Putrescent Demise, I think we know where this is going. Additional text added to the first sentence. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly Gellerpox infected operative, excluding a mutoid vermin, is incapacitated. Before it's removed from the kill zone, you can do whatever putrescent demise demands you do. Again, fairly obvious, fairly straightforward. I'm not going to go any further into that one. And the glitch operative small rule has been tweaked. So the relevant part of the second sentence changed to read, whenever this operative has a conceal order and is in cover, small glitchling. So small in full, this operative cannot use any weapons that aren't on its data card or perform unique actions. Whenever this operative has a conceal order and is in cover, it cannot be selected as a valid target, taking precedence over all other rules, e.g. seek, vantage terrain, except being within 2 inches. I think we're going to see that with Vespid's drone as well. And it's just a little clarification to all operatives that are just objective farms, really. But that's quite straightforward, and that's us done for Gellerpox Infected. Not quite as many changes this time round. I'd love to know how Gellerpox Infected are doing. If anybody out there is playing Gellerpox Infected, are you having fun? First of all, how are they doing going into other teams? Because they have such a weird mix of all kinds of stuff. But so many weird rules, you can't even buy them anymore, so there probably isn't many people playing them. But I'd love to know what's going on with the Gellerpox Infected. But that's us done for our roundup of Kill Team Errata 1.2 March 2025 for all teams Chaos. Not many changes, but there's quite a few consistent changes, a lot of changes to things that are named differently but function in a very similar way. Basically, if something has a skill that activates when it's incapacitated, do that before you remove the model, is what they're saying. There was quite a few to Legionaries, wasn't there? I think quite straightforward. There's nothing in there like last time with these kill teams. There was quite a few head scratch moments for me. Nothing in there that's too confusing. Everything makes sense and everything seems fairly straightforward. But let me know what you think to these changes in the comments and how it's affected your favourite kill teams. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.